हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू सफलता बैच क्लास 20। आज हमारी क्लास 20 है। इससे पहले की 19 क्लासें आप प्लेलिस्ट से जाकर के ज़रूर लीजिए, आपको इसका काफ़ी बेनिफिट मिलेगा। आज जो है हम लोग दो डिक्टेशंस लिखने वाले हैं। पहला जनरल होगा और दूसरा होगा लीगल। दोनों डिक्टेशन की स्पीड 110 से ऊपर रहेगी, 110 से और 115 के बीच में फ्लक्चुएट करेगी। स्टार्ट करते हैं फर्स्ट डिक्टेशन से। गेट रेडी, 3, 2, 1, start. Sir, I lay on the table a statement of the estimated receipts and expenditure of the Government of India for the year 1952-53. There has been some uncertainty about when we are likely to adjourn. Some account appeared in a paper that we may have to continue for another week. The position is this, that we have received from the House of the People two bills which have already been mentioned. A third bill is under consideration and it is expected that this bill will be passed on the 28th of May in the House of the People. These three bills have to be taken up and passed in the council. A date has been allotted for official business. If we are not able to complete our discussion of these bills on that day, we may have to adjourn and meet for a day or two on Monday and Tuesday. As the case may be, if honorable members are anxious to save their time and incidentally the expenses of the government too, we may meet on Friday or Saturday evening and take up further consideration of these bills and make sure that on Saturday evening we will be to leave for our homes. Many of the members have felt that the time given for the debate on the President's address was not enough. These budget proposals that are brought before our House are to be discussed and not voted upon by us. The general budget and the railway budget are to be discussed threadbare in this House. If that is the case, certainly I feel the members on both sides of the House may like to have some more time. But sir, if a day is not available to us, I beg to submit that at least the hours of sitting on each day during the next week may be extended so that you will be able to give a fair and impartial adjustment of time to both sides of the House. May I submit that while discussing the President's address, we did not have enough opportunity of discussing it, and you had the pleasure to pick up such members in spite of the fact that we got no opportunity to speak on our amendments. Now the general budget and the railway budget are going to be discussed here, and because we have a right to discuss them, we feel that more time is necessary because of the experience that we had during the discussion on the President's address. Therefore, as my friend suggested, either the sitting hours should be increased on each day or the number of days should be increased. I find that members on the other side are not prepared to increase the sitting hours on each day, and so we request you either to increase the number of days or to give us more time during those allotted days so that members of the opposition would have enough opportunity to discuss the budgets. So far as non-official business is concerned, it is not in contemplation that a day should be set apart during this part of the current session, it may be that we may consider the desirability of allotting time for non-official business when we meet again in July. So far as the time set apart for discussion of the general budget and the railway budget is concerned, I submit that 3 days for the general budget and 2 days for the railway budget are as much as would seem to be necessary for dealing with the general questions that arise out of the budget. Stop. सो गाइज ये फर्स्ट डिक्टेशन कंप्लीट हो गया है. इसकी स्पीड 112 से 115 के बीच में फ्लक्चुएट करी थी. आई होप आप लोगों ने ये लिख लिया होगा. अब आप इसको ब्रेक लेकर के ट्रांसक्राइब करिए और फिर उससे गलतियां चेक करिए. इसके बाद में आपको लिखना है लीगल मैटर. सो लीगल मैटर के लिए रेडी हो जाइए. गेट रेडी. 3, 2, 1 स्टार्ट. Counsel for the petitioner submits that petitioner was appointed on the post of conductor as daily wager wide order dated 22/6/1993. Services of the petitioner were terminated by the respondents. The petitioner assailed the above order before the Industrial Tribunal Jaipur by way of filing an application. It was pleaded before the tribunal that services of the petitioner were terminated without getting any approval and without any notice or payment of compensation. Counsel submits that aforesaid action of the respondents has not been found to be justified by the tribunal, and the impugned order dated 16/11/1993 has been quashed and set aside, and the tribunal has directed the respondents to reinstate the petitioner with continuity in service on the post held by him, and further direction was also issued to the respondents to pay 50% of the back wages. Counsel submits that when the directions issued by the tribunal were not complied with by the respondents, a compromise took place between the parties on 9/7/2004 on certain terms and conditions. The petitioner agreed to forego the back wages and he deposited the penalty amount of rupees 6,000 with the respondent corporation. Counsel submits that condition of the agreement was clear and specific, that petitioner would be taken back in service and his services would be regularized. An order was passed in this regard. In continuity of that order, the regularization order of the petitioner was passed by the respondents and the services of the petitioner were regularized. Thereafter, the regular pay scale was given to the petitioner and the status of the petitioner was shown as regular employee in his service record. Counsel submits that all of sudden a notice was issued to the petitioner for deleting the condition of the order. Petitioner submitted a reply to the aforesaid notice, but without considering the averments mentioned in the reply. Respondents have passed the impugned order and the condition of the order was deleted, and again the petitioner were reinstated as daily wager on the post of conductor. Accordingly, the order was passed to recover the excess salary paid to the petitioner by treating him as regular employee. Counsel submits that the impugned order is not sustainable in the eye of law and the same is liable to be quashed and set aside by this court, and appropriate order be passed for issuing directions to the respondent to treat the services of the petitioner as regular employee, and accordingly all consequential benefits be granted to him. Counsel submits that during pendency of this petition, the petitioner has retired after attaining the age of superannuation, so appropriate orders be passed in favors of the petitioner. Per contra, learned counsel for the respondents opposed the arguments raised by the learned counsel for the petitioner and submits that in the light of the circular, the petitioner's services were liable to be regularized after 3 years of reinstatement. Petitioner was reinstated back in service and in compliance of the services of the petitioner were regularized. Counsel submits that under these circumstances, the mistake committed by the respondents was rectified by the impugned order and no illegality has been caused by the respondents by passing the above order. Hence, interference of this court is not warranted. Heard and considered the submissions made at the bar and perused the material available on record. Stop. सो गाइज ये सेकंड डिक्टेशन लीगल था. आई होप आपसे लिखा गया होगा. इसमें जितने भी वर्ड्स अब आ रहे हैं आप उनसे फेमिलियर हो चुके होंगे, तो आपको कुछ भी ऐसा नहीं दिख रहा होगा कि आपने नहीं लिखा हो. सो अब इसको आप ट्रांसक्राइब करिए या फिर रीड करिए, जैसा आपको ठीक लगे आप वो करिए, पर एटलीस्ट इसको अच्छे से रिवाइज करिए. अब हम लिखने वाले हैं जनरल फ्रेजेस और लीगल फ्रेजेस. सो गेट रेडी. 3, 2, 1 स्टार्ट. लेजिस्लेशन, proposal, debate, amendment, law making, house, vote, committee, session, speaker, draft, clause, enactment, approval, legislative process, public hearing, floor, second reading, majority, ratification, bill reading, standing committee, legislative assembly, private members bill, opposition, parliamentary session, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, Parliament House, President of India, Prime Minister, Speaker, members of Parliament, constituency, legislative sessions, question hour, debates, bills, committees, budget session, monsoon session, winter session, opposition, cabinet, parliamentary elections, parliamentary democracy, parole, patent, probation, plaintiff, power of attorney, precedent, property, perjury, partnership, quash, qualified, quorum, quasi-contract, question, quittance, quiet title, quota, ratification, robbery, restitution, residency, reprieve, revoke, reasonable, rule, regulation. स्टॉप. सो ये फ्रेजेस का डिक्टेशन यहीं पे कंप्लीट हो गया है. अब इनकी आप अच्छे से प्रिपरेशन करिए, इनको 3-4 बार लिखिए और इनकी स्पेलिंग भी याद कर लीजिए. सो आज की क्लास यहीं पर एंड होती है. आपको कोई भी क्वेरी हो कमेंट करके पूछ सकते हो. पर्सनली टेलीग्राम पर भी मैसेज कर सकते हो. पीडीएफ में आपको टेलीग्राम आईडी भी गिवन है. सो आज की क्लास यहीं पर एंड होती है. तब तक के लिए थैंक यू एवरीवन एंड गुड बाय.